Did you know that after 60 years old, eggs can be either a remedy or a poison for your brain? And what defines this is not the egg itself, but the way you prepare and combine it on your plate. If you're over 60 years old and notice that you've been forgetting names, losing the thread of conversation, or feeling that mental fog that just doesn't seem to go away, pay very close attention to what I'm about to tell you now, because the problem might be in your kitchen, more specifically in your frying pan. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, a specialist in integrative health, and today I'm going to reveal what science has discovered about eggs, brain, and memory, and why millions of people are making a silent mistake every day at breakfast. A mistake that could be stealing your memories without you even realizing. First of all, you need to understand what's happening inside your brain at this very moment. With aging, our brain naturally loses some neurons and connections. This is part of life's natural process. But do you know what accelerates this process dramatically and dangerously? Chronic inflammation. When your body lives in a constant inflammatory state, something very serious happens. The hippocampus, that region of the brain responsible for your memory, begins to shrink. At the same time, the production of acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter absolutely essential for you to record new information, plummets. Imagine having a memory archive that simply stops working properly. That's exactly what happens when inflammation takes over your brain. And this is where the egg comes in, that food. So simple and so present on so many tables, the egg is one of the best natural sources of choline, a powerful nutrient that transforms into acetylcholine inside your brain. Serious scientific studies show that people over 60 years old with good choline intake have up to 28% less risk of cognitive decline. Can you imagine the impact of this? Almost 30% of protection just by ensuring your brain receives this essential nutrient. Sounds perfect, doesn't it? It seems like the solution is right there, right in front of you, inside the refrigerator. But there's a catch, a big catch that can transform this protective food into a real villain for your memory. The big mistake is not eating eggs. Let me make this very clear. The mistake is in how you prepare those eggs. The problem is in frying eggs at high temperatures using refined vegetable oils. Have you ever stopped to think about what happens when you put that soybean, corn, or canola oil in a very hot pan and throw the egg in there? A chemical reaction called lipid oxidation occurs, and this process generates extremely toxic compounds like aldehydes and the dreaded AGs, which are advanced glycation end products. These compounds enter your bloodstream and manage to cross the blood-brain barrier, that natural protection your brain has, and begin to cause direct inflammation in your neurons. It's as if you were, unknowingly, throwing poison into the most important cells in your body. A study published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease in 2023 showed something frightening. People over 60 years old who regularly consumed eggs fried in vegetable oils had brain inflammatory markers 40% higher than those who consumed boiled or poached eggs, 40%. 40. This is not a small thing. This is a gigantic difference that can determine whether you're going to have a lucid mind at 80 years old or whether you're going to start losing your memories at 70. Besides that, there's another aggravating factor that most people don't even imagine. When you combine that fried egg with refined carbohydrates, like white bread or flour tortillas, you create a real inflammatory bomb. This combination generates glucose spikes that damage brain blood vessels, drastically reducing the flow of oxygen and nutrients to the hippocampus. Are you already making this combination at your breakfast? Let me tell you a real story that happened in my office 2 years ago. I met a patient named Helen. She was 67 years old and came to me very worried. complaining about increasingly frequent memory lapses. She told me with teary eyes, "Doctor, I walk into the kitchen and forget what I went to get. The other day I forgot my granddaughter's name. Imagine the pain of forgetting the name of someone you love." When I began to investigate her eating routine, the pattern became crystal clear in front of me. Every single day, without exception, breakfast with 2 eggs fried in soybean oil accompanied by white bread and orange juice. A real inflammatory bomb entering her body every morning. After all the tests, I realized there was nothing wrong with her genetics. It wasn't early onset Alzheimer's. It wasn't any serious neurological disease. It was pure and simple nutritional inflammation. We completely changed her food strategy. Boiled or scrambled eggs in ghee butter, accompanied by avocado and vegetables, no white bread, no juice with sugar. In just 6 weeks, Helen came back to the office, and I'll never forget the expression on her face. Her eyes were shining when she told me, "Doctor, the fog disappeared. I can remember things again. I feel like myself again." That was one of the greatest joys of my career because it showed that sometimes the solution is closer than we imagine. Sometimes it's just in changing the way we prepare a food as simple as an egg. So now you must be wondering, what is the right way to eat eggs after 60? I'm going to explain in detail 3 preparations that will protect your brain instead of harming it. The first way is to consume boiled or poached eggs. These preparations preserve 100% of the choline and don't generate any inflammatory compounds. The ideal is to cook with the yolk still soft. Do you know why? Because the liquid yolk keeps intact the phospholipids essential for neuronal membranes, those structures that protect each neuron in your brain. When you overcook the egg, you lose part of these benefits. Have you ever tried making boiled eggs with a creamy yolk? The second correct way is to prepare scrambled eggs over low heat using ghee butter or extra virgin olive oil. Pay attention to this detail. Low heat. The saturated fat in ghee butter is stable to heat and doesn't oxidize like vegetable oils. It withstands heat without turning into poison. Extra virgin olive oil, when used over low heat, also preserves all its anti-inflammatory polyphenols, those wonderful compounds that protect your neurons. The key here is low temperature and choosing the right fat. Can you imagine the results with this simple change in your kitchen? The third powerful way is to make omelets with leafy vegetables and fresh herbs. When you add spinach, kale, parsley, and chives to your eggs, you enhance the absorption of choline and also add an impressive amount of antioxidants that protect your neurons from oxidative stress. It's like you're creating a protective shield for your brain with each meal. These vegetables have bioactive compounds that work in synergy with the choline in the egg, multiplying the benefit. But now comes the crucial part. The mistakes you need to avoid at any cost if you want to preserve your memory and mental clarity. The first fatal mistake is frying eggs in soybean, corn, or canola oil. These oils are extremely rich in omega-6, and when consumed in excess, they promote intense brain inflammation. Under high heat, they literally become neurotoxic, slowly poisoning your brain cells day after day. The second deadly mistake is combining fried eggs with white bread or refined flour tortillas. These refined carbohydrates trigger insulin in your blood, cause brain insulin resistance, that condition where your brain stops responding well to insulin, and this dramatically accelerates cognitive aging. The third mistake many people make is eating eggs without adding good fats alongside. The choline in the egg needs healthy fats like avocado, extra virgin olive oil, or nuts to be well absorbed and reach the brain. Without these good fats, you lose a large part of the benefits. Are you making any of these mistakes? When you correct the way you eat eggs, something extraordinary begins to happen inside your body. Within a few weeks, acetylcholine production stabilizes and returns to adequate levels. Brain inflammation decreases significantly. That fire that was burning your neurons begins to go out. The blood-brain barrier strengthens, returning to protect your brain as it should. Blood flow to the hippocampus increases, carrying more oxygen and nutrients to the region responsible for memory. My patients report incredible transformation, sharper memory. They manage to remember names and details more easily, faster reasoning, more stable mood throughout the day, constant energy without those peaks and crashes. And best of all, you don't need to give up eggs. That food's so nutritious and accessible. You just need to treat it with the respect it deserves, preparing it the right way. Science doesn't lie, but unfortunately, few doctors speak openly about this in consultation. Recent studies from Boston University and Harvard Medical School confirm with solid data. The choline in eggs is extremely protective for the aging brain, but the method of preparation completely defines whether you're nourishing or destroying your neurons. It's a very fine line, but one that makes all the difference in the world. The difference between an egg fried in refined vegetable oil at high temperature and a boiled egg can literally be the difference between a lucid and active mind at 80 years old or an erased and confused memory at 70. Do you want to make this conscious choice starting now? If you're over 60 years old, or if you have parents, grandparents, or loved ones in this age range, don't let such a simple mistake in the kitchen steal precious memories. Choose boiled eggs with soft yolk or scrambled eggs over low heat with good fats like ghee butter or olive oil. Always add healthy fats to your plate like avocado, nuts, extra virgin olive oil. Completely avoid refined vegetable oils like soybean, corn, and canola. Stay away from empty carbohydrates like white bread, flour tortillas without accompaniment, cakes, and refined sweets. Your brain will thank you today, will thank you tomorrow, and will thank you in the coming decades of your life. Based on solid scientific evidence and my clinical experience with hundreds of patients over the years, I can say with complete confidence, adjusting the way you eat eggs can be one of the most powerful and transformative decisions you can make to protect your mind for much longer. It's not about radical diets, it's not about spending fortunes on imported supplements. It's about making intelligent choices in your own kitchen every day. Every food choice you make today is literally shaping the brain you'll have tomorrow. It's building the quality of life you're going to have at 70, 80, 90 years old. If this video made sense to you, if you recognized any of these mistakes in your routine or in the routine of someone you love, leave me here in the comments. Are you going to make this change starting today? Tell me what your most common mistake was and what change you're going to implement first. Share this video with that special person who needs to know this, because quality information saves lives and preserves memories. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe now and turn on the bell to receive more content like this, based on real science and true clinical experience. Together, we're going to build a community of people who age with health, clarity, and quality of life. A big hug, and see you in the next video.